You're welcome back. Now, the Musicians Union of Ghana should have gone to the polls on the 28th of June, but it was postponed to the 10th of July. That was postponed again as a result of some bloated register allegations. Let's check out a report on this. Right, well, we'll bring you that report in a bit. But we're honored. Joy Prime's KMJ is here to explain to us what this means and when exactly this election is going to take place. KMJ, good to see you. Thanks for coming through.
Good to see you too, bro.
Now, you've done a bit of work on this, haven't you? You've been looking into MUSIGA's preparations for this election. Yeah. What exactly is the problem here?
Okay, so, I mean, the musicians have not been taken serious by governments after governments, and it's because most of the things that we could easily deal with, so they take us serious, we're not doing them. Last year in October, they announced that they were supposed to go for elections. Obviously, Obo's term has elapsed, and so there has to be somebody taking charge. So in October, they announced that this year they'll be going to the polls, and so everything is done. Now, it was going to be the first time that they'll do it national, because over the period, it's more like, okay, we'll go to a certain place, we organize the members, those who are voting members, they vote, and that's it. But this time around, we're doing nationwide. So every region will be voting in that order. And so it was quite a big one for them. And we were expecting that the day that they said it was going to happen. But that didn't happen. Now, there was a press release between that time that we were supposed to have the very first elections, that they can't do it because the EC says that it's busy with voters registration, limited voters registration, and so the elections won't happen. And that was the press release they brought out there. So they wanted the EC to get time for them. Now, we're hoping that the 10th of July that they postponed to was also going to happen. Unfortunately, that's 10th June, it didn't happen. And so we're a bit concerned about it, like, okay, what's going on? Then we started hearing issues of bloating of register, you know, people alleging that the Besser Simon camp is as much as possible trying to bloat the register so they can get members who have not registered to now register and vote for him. And so one of the aspirants, who is a presidential aspirant, Ras Caleb Levi, actually got angry and said, okay, he doesn't really understand some of the things that are going on, some credibility and other issues that he was not too, sure of. So he decided to put an injunction on the elections. And this was after they have postponed the elections to the 17th of July. So as today, we were supposed to be going to vote. But last week, he decided to go to court. And so, obviously, we can't do it once the court has decided that, no, you can't do it this time because somebody has come to say that he does not understand certain things that has to be explained to him. Now, yesterday, I spoke to Tregmatic, who happens to be the chairman, the spokesperson for the elections committee.
Right.
The chairman is Martin Kansa, and Tregmatic speaks for the committees. And I was asking him, so what are we doing now? And he tells me that, well, there's nothing they can do right now because they went to court and the court said that they just said that they can't find the docket. So they had to postpone the hearing again to 23rd. So it means that, yes, we would have to wait for 23rd before even we get to see the dockets and what really it entails before we could move on. So ultimately, it means that we're not voting today, tomorrow, or probably in the coming weeks or months, because as long as somebody is not happy, then it means that we're not going anywhere with this.
In the meantime, who leads MUSIGA?
Well, now Obo is still in office because we've not had a successor yet. We've not voted. So he's the one that is still leading them. But his term is the last. Okay,
so help me understand some of the technical details around this. First of all, who qualifies to vote in this election?
You must have been a member that, duly recognized for a period of time. The reason why Ras Caleb is not too happy about the fact that these things are happening is that certain people who, as aware, were not active members and have not been part of the duly process that you need to go through to get to that point, are being forced to register so they can vote for a certain camp. He believes that is the Besser Simon camp.
Right.
So that's the reason why he felt, no, this is the wrong thing to do. So I'd rather not allow this to go on. I'll go to court. Let's clear the register. Make sure that people who deserve to be there to vote are put there. And that's the reason.
Okay, now that report I alluded to earlier, we have it now. Let's have a quick look at it and then talk some more.
Fresh elections. The Musicians Union of Ghana, MUSIGA, is yet to organize one. MUSIGA on October 17, 2018, set June 28 this year for its national elections. Regional elections will follow 1 week after. For the MUSIGA presidency, two musicians, Bessie Simons, who has served as national vice president for the 8 years, is going against Ras Caleb Apia Levi, who is the current president of the Greater Accra region. Gospel artist Harry Thomas Yosen and CEO of Links Entertainment Richard Kakari Mensah will contest for the first vice president position. The second vice presidential slot is being contested by gospel artist Deborah Freeman and Ruth Benny Wood, known in showbiz circles as Abena Ruthie. Sylvia Posompema Ponsa and Samuel Kofi Ajiman are in the race for the general secretary. Gifty Ganza is vying for national welfare officer, with Reverend Edward Edusa Eyison eyeing the national treasurer position. Chizi Ni Aduwela is standing for the position of national organizer. But all that won't happen as scheduled until allegations of bloated voters register and claims that some candidates are forcibly registering people to get them to vote for them, among others, were cleared.
There is something that making MUSIGA so attractive to the extent that people are trying to use underhand methods to win.
So if you want the general public to know that everything is working well for you guys, just accept it.
I never knew in our music industry to elections register can be bloated.
MUSIGA's national executives appointed a 5-member committee chaired by High Life musician Smartin Kansa to supervise the elections. A statement postponing the elections read in part, the decision is based on the feedback the committee has received from the initial release of the voters register for the elections.
I saw this coming, KMJ. I realized this would happen when most of the MUSIGA members started raising concerns, especially from the central region and the Shanti region. You know, there had been concerns that some members or some people who were not MUSIGA members had gone to register, and so people didn't really like the idea of the election coming off at that particular day, which was the 26th of June. So I wasn't surprised that it was postponed to 10th, and then on the 10th we were waiting for the elections to have been held, when we also heard that it had been postponed again to 17th.
The Electoral Commission, which was to supervise the elections, is carrying out the limited registration of voters for the 2020 national elections. The statement generated controversy as many people, including some candidates, believed that there were serious internal issues which led to the postponement other than what was stated.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So much drama. And all of this over MUSIGA leadership. Tell me, why? Why such a fuss? Is there like a lot of money in being a MUSIGA president?
This is an organization that does not really pay you as a president or whatever position that you're serving. But over the years, we've seen certain individuals who've been in that position and have not left empty-handed. You understand? Because it's a way. There's a way you can go about it to generate money and then support the musicians. Now, it's either you're generating the money to support them or you're generating the money for yourself, which a lot of people believe that Obuo's administration was more of satisfying himself than helping the musicians. He's been brought to book several times, and sometimes when you ask him questions about it, he doesn't really want to answer because he believes that, well, he's not paid for being in that capacity, but then he's trying as much as possible to let things work. Right. He has the AmWealth, which is for the aged musicians. He organizes a program that brings money so he can give to them. He has the MUSIGA Grand Ball. He organizes almost every year. Has very, very important personalities coming through to donate money to help these musicians. But most of the musicians say they don't see all that.
But is there any evidence of wrongdoing?
If you have it, just like when he did the reports on the whole musicians and what we contribute and all of that. There were reports that he was doing certain things that were not really cool with the money that was given to him, and he brought evidence of that, that okay, he used it for this, he used it for, even that we're still questioning that some of the amounts paid were too much, in that regard. So yes, some people have evidence to some of the things that they claim, but the thing is that for how long are you going to keep talking about it when you know nothing will happen at the end of the day? So
Fair enough. Well, listen, thank you for giving us an insight into these dramatic goings on at MUSIGA. KMG, of course, hosts a breakfast show on the Joy Prime channel. All right, well, stay with us. We're wrapping up after this.
Well, so that'll be it for the show. But we've got some nice.
I'm high.
Nice
No,
songs.
I'm not. Okay, thank you for your company here on the M Show. We'll see you tomorrow. We hope that you've loved what we cooked today.
Well, definitely.
Oh.
But again, we have to tell you our campaign is still on.
I
Tomorrow,
dissociate myself from her
we're at
cooking.
Lekma.
Absolutely. We're
Fix
going
Lekma
into the
now.
community to take our Fix Lekma Now campaign to the next level. We're going to bring you stories that will shock you. But it's all to make sure that a problem which really ought to have been fixed ages ago is fixed now.
All right. See you tomorrow. If you live around, please come by.
Bye-bye.